Over 2,000 years ago, the Greeks built a weapon that could fire again and again, with just a turn of a crank. It was called the polybolos. Using a mechanical system, it could load, draw, and fire bolts in rapid succession. For its time, it was one of the most advanced weapons ever built. But its complexity meant it was never widely used on the battlefield. Sometimes the future shows up early, and the world isn't ready for it. During an ancient siege, Roman sailors faced a weapon they had never seen before, something reaching out from the walls. Defending Syracuse, the inventor Archimedes designed what became known as the Claw of Archimedes. Using pulleys and levers, it could grab enemy ships and tip them off balance. Some accounts say ships were lifted or tilted so violently that they capsized, throwing sailors into the sea. Whether fully true or not, the weapon became legendary. It's one of history's first examples of engineering turning the tide of war. In 1925, a con artist convinced a group of businessmen that the Eiffel Tower was for sale. His name was Victor Lustig. Posing as a government official, he claimed the Eiffel Tower was too expensive to maintain and would be sold for scrap. One man paid him a fortune, plus a secret bribe. The victim was too embarrassed to report it, so Lustig escaped. He even tried to run the same scam again, before suspicion forced him to disappear. It's one of the boldest scams ever, and proof that confidence can be more powerful than truth. The first gunpowder weapons weren't made of steel, they were made of bamboo. In ancient China, soldiers used a weapon called the fire lance. It was a bamboo tube filled with black powder that blasted fire, and, sometimes, shards or pellets at close range. Over time, bamboo was replaced with metal, and the weapon evolved into the hand cannon. By the late 13th century, the first true handheld guns had arrived. From a simple tube of bamboo to weapons that changed the world. During the Vietnam War, thousands of soldiers lived in a hidden world beneath the ground. The Cu Chi tunnels stretched for over 150 miles. These weren't just tunnels. They were a complex, underground network with hospitals, kitchens, and hidden rooms. The passages were so tight that only specially trained tunnel rats could enter. Inside, booby traps like punji stakes and the constant fear of what was in the dark made every step dangerous. It was a war fought above ground, and a hidden one below it. In 1963, a gang stopped a Royal Mail train in the middle of the night and stole millions, without firing a single shot. During the Great Train Robbery, 1963, the gang tampered with railway signals, forcing the train to stop in a remote area. In less than 20 minutes, they loaded more than $2.6 million into waiting trucks. The robbers hid at Leatherslade Farm, but they left fingerprints everywhere, including on a Monopoly board. Most of the gang was eventually caught, and much of the money was never recovered. It became one of the most famous robberies in history. The first steam-powered machine wasn't built in the Industrial Revolution. It was invented nearly 2,000 years earlier. A Greek engineer named Hero of Alexandria created a device called the Aeolipile. Steam shot out of two small pipes, spinning a hollow metal sphere at high speed. It proved that steam could create motion, but at the time it was mostly seen as a scientific curiosity, not a practical engine for industry. More than 1,600 years later, inventors like James Watt would finally turn steam into the engines that powered the Industrial Revolution. Sometimes the biggest inventions appear centuries before the world is ready for them. For over 150 years, travelers in the California desert have reported seeing a ghostly Spanish galleon sitting on the sand. Legends say it's a ship filled with black pearls, stranded when Lake Cahuilla dried up centuries ago. Explorers have claimed to find it, only for sandstorms to bury it again before they could return. Is it a mirage, or a 400-year-old treasure ship waiting to be revealed? Modern satellite scans have spotted anomalies beneath the desert that match the shape of a 17th-century hull. Some treasures vanish for a reason, and maybe the lost galleon is meant to stay hidden. Before alarm clocks were common, workers in industrial England paid someone to wake them up every morning. They were called knocker-up. Armed with long sticks or bamboo poles, They tapped on bedroom windows until they were sure the person inside was awake. Some even used pea shooters to fire dried peas at the glass. The job was common across the United Kingdom during the Industrial Revolution, when factory workers had to wake up before sunrise. So before smartphones and alarm clocks, people literally paid a human alarm clock to wake them up. Deep inside the mountains of Poland, the Nazis began building a secret underground complex the size of a small city. It was called Project Reese. Hidden beneath Owl Mountains, the project included at least 7 huge tunnel systems carved into rock during World War II. Thousands of forced laborers worked to build it, but the complex was never completed. Historians still debate its purpose. Some believe it was meant to be a new headquarters for Adolf Hitler, while others think it was planned for secret weapons production. Legends even claim a hidden Nazi gold train may still be buried somewhere in the tunnels. To this day, parts of the underground network remain unexplored, and the mountains may still be hiding their secrets. In 1917, the Russian Empire collapsed, and some of the most valuable treasures on Earth simply disappeared. They were the Imperial Fabergé eggs, masterpieces made by Peter Carl Fabergé for the royal family. 50 were created, covered in diamonds, gold, and hidden mechanical surprises. Today, 43 are known to exist, but 7 are still missing. In 2012, a man in the U.S. bought a strange gold egg at a flea market for $14,000 to melt it for scrap. It turned out to be the 3rd Imperial Fabergé egg, worth over $30 million. 7 Imperial eggs are still missing, which means one of history's greatest treasures could still be hiding somewhere ordinary. In 1860, invading armies looted one of the most beautiful palaces on Earth. It was the Old Summer Palace in Beijing, often called the Versailles of the East. Inside were priceless treasures, mechanical clocks, rare artworks, and ancient manuscripts. During the Second Opium War, British and French troops looted the palace and later burned the complex to the ground. Today, many of its artifacts are scattered across museums and private collections around the world. Some treasures survive in glass cases, but the palace that held them is gone forever. Modern concrete can crack within decades, but some Roman structures have survived for nearly 2,000 years. The secret is Roman concrete. Roman builders mixed quicklime with volcanic ash, creating tiny lime fragments called limeclasts. When cracks form and water enters, these particles can react and help seal the damage. They also used pozzolanic ash. In seawater, it slowly forms strong mineral crystals. One reason ancient Roman harbors and piers are still standing today. 2,000 years later, modern engineers are still learning from Roman builders. War elephants were the tanks of the ancient world, but their greatest weakness was a farm animal. Ancient writers like Pliny the Elder claimed that elephants were terrified by the high-pitched squeals of pigs. Greek and Roman soldiers sometimes used this to create chaos on the battlefield. When startled, the massive animals could panic and turn back toward their own lines, trampling the very soldiers they were meant to protect. Even the war elephants of generals like Hannibal had one unexpected weakness. In ancient warfare, even the most powerful weapons could be undone by the smallest enemy.